Okay, we are back with our second hour guest, Nate. Were you the guy called Nate News? Was that you?
Yes,
All right,
Nate
I've seen your
News,
stuff.
Nate IRL. I've been watching you for years, to be honest. I've been in your chat. I think I might have been Nate Smokes before too, but yeah, I've been
Nice.
watching you for years, man. Happy to be on the stream.
It's great to have actually listened to you with Jake the other day. It was a good stream. You had some good takes on there. I wanted to get because you seem to be somebody that was involved with the Groypers and stuff, and you have a lot of insight into these guys. I know the
Yeah.
lore as well because I follow this shit. I follow politics, and I know all these characters in and out, despite not being American. So, so the flip flop thing, that's what I kind of wanted to focus on. So the latest flip flop from Nick Fuentes, like it is a blatant huge. Like there's actually two flip flops. It's the Islam thing, and then it's the vote Democrats and Republican thing. So what is he saying now? Why do you think he's flip
And
flop?
he's pro-white again, supposedly, I guess, too. So yeah, I mean, it's basically Nick has no like real takes or anything. He kind of just blows with the wind at the end of the day. And yeah, this latest with the rift between him and Blazarian, Sneeko, it has broken up the Muslim Christian alliance or whatever, right? That was supposedly, so big the last, 2, 3 years post October 7th, right? That Nick Fuentes was very much, you know, one of the main people behind, right? He was meeting with Suleiman Ahmed. He was meeting with Nico, obviously, Dan Blazarian, going to his house and stuff and meeting with Muslims there. So he was very clicked in with this. It's really like a Russian Muslim thing, but the Muslim side of like this Russian op, right? And it's very interesting to see him flip. I didn't expect it to go this far. I honestly expected it when the first little rift between Sneeko and Nick happened like a month or two ago or whatever. I honestly expected it to, them to patch it up and they'll be, at the club doing uh, N-word Hail Hitler again. You know what I mean? So like I thought that's what it was gonna be, right? But it looks like from everything so far, like Nick is doing this flip flop. He's trying to, I guess, get back in the fold of like MAGA people or something. I don't know what he's trying to do, but
Yeah,
it's
after
just
attacking them
ridiculous.
relentlessly for years, right? He attacks Captive Dreamer, Patrick Casey, smears these
Mm-hmm.
people. He attacks these people relentlessly. But now he's saying the exact same things they were saying. I mean, he was actually saying those people are third, or he was calling them Zionists because they were critiquing him for being a third worldist Islamo dick sucker because that's what he was. And
Mm-hmm.
he was fully on board with that freak show lefty. Muslims are our friends. We need to team up with Islam. The issue's not Islam, it's actually just Jews always. And there's no other
Mm-hmm.
issues. And we shouldn't talk about anything. Not gays, not feminists, not Islamists, just Jews. And now he's abandoned that. And now he's calling out the low IQ anti Semites. Now, but he used to be that. I mean, he was hanging out with Kanye. He was pushing the Hitler cult. He's literally was doing all of that stuff.
Yep. Yep. And it's even flipped again because on the recent death of Lindsey Graham, like whatever, if you don't like Lindsey Graham or not, but he's literally posting the same tweet that Anna Kasparian posted. What was it? He was like,
Good
um,
riddance.
yeah, good riddance or something, right? Like literally standing in solidarity with the leftists again. So like whatever, even if you didn't like Lindsey Graham, I personally I kind of liked Lindsey Graham. He was pro Ukraine. He was yeah, he was a neocon or whatever, but I think he was better than a lot of other Republican senators and stuff like that for the most part. And he was all on Trump. the Trump agenda for the most part. There were some things he was bad with. He was bad on January 6th. He was bad on a few other things, but for the most part, net positive. I think Lindsey Graham, and
Well,
one of the biggest voices for Ukraine
what's
on the
interesting
Republican
is,
side.
yeah, what's interesting is like, at least he was pro Ukraine, whereas you had like someone like Ted Cruz and these other Republicans that were pro Israel fanatics, but then anti Ukraine or neutral on
Yep.
Ukraine. So at least he had that above them. They were both pro Israel fanatics, but at least he was also pro Ukraine and didn't only look at Israel issues. Whereas Ted Cruz is just a Bible thumping Christian Zionist zealot who only cares about Israel. I think there's another U.S. Senator, Josh Hawley. I think he's another one who was like, yeah, end all aid to Ukraine, but give it to Israel instead. So, oh, they're
Yeah.
real Christians over there. Give it to the Jewish country, take it away from the Christian Ukrainians. Okay.
Yeah. And even JD, look, I mean, with JD Vance, like his post about his eulogy post to Lindsey Graham, even he was like throwing shots at Ukraine a little bit. So like I don't like that, to be honest. I think
Who?
Vance's post, yeah, his tweet about Lindsey Graham, he said something about he liked Lindsey Graham, but they squabbled about Ukraine or something like that or whatever. Like, anyways, regardless, I think Lindsey Graham was a pivotal guy to whisper in Trump's ear about Ukraine and be pro Ukraine and stuff. I think it is sad that we lost him. He was on the right side of the Ukraine issue. So, and he did push, I think, Trump towards the right side. And I think right now, a lot of what you see with Trump right now, kind of like signaling support for Ukraine because Ukraine is winning right now objectively. That Trump likes winners, and he's going to gravitate towards the winners. And with Ukraine doing this amazing mid-range drone campaign right now, it's almost like the cards are lining up right now. Like there's more Russia skeptical stuff going on right now on the right wing than ever. And this, you've been pro Ukraine since like the beginning, and it's been really hard dealing with the onslaught of Russian propaganda on the right wing. It's basically like the default position on the dissident right to be like pro Russia for like no reason. So I think right now it's better than ever. You have Laura Loomer coming out pro Ukraine now. As much as you want to say she's doing it for, you know, she's just blowing with the wind on it or whatever, hopping on the trend. I think it's a good thing, regardless. So, good stuff.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
All right, let me just check if the YouTube people can see that as well. Okay, yeah. So this was the Fuentes tweet. I'm gonna play that video, the flip flop video, in a sec. He says,
Oh, that video is so good.
Muslims cry about Western colonialism and genocide, then scream that Islam will dominate the world and gloat about white genocide. In the next sentence, they deserve zero sympathy. I'm done. We were fucking telling you that, you idiot, for 5 years. Like, weren't we all saying that? Weren't we all saying, like, that Sneeko is just this brown supremacist Muslim third worldist who only cares about brown people because he's a racist ass, brown ass Muslim? Like, it's so obvious. All these brown Muslims, they're racist ass Muslims who only care about brown people. It's so
Yeah.
obvious. Look at Sulain Ahmed. Says there's no such thing as Pakistani grooming gangs, Palestine simping all day long. All these people, all these brown Muslim influencers, it's all Palestine all day long, zero Ukraine, ever. And if they talk about Ukraine, they're either neutral or support Russia because they're a bunch of hypocrite scum. So it's like, didn't you see this? Like, you're this political savant and you didn't know that?
Yeah, Nick always tries to say he's ahead of the game, he's ahead of everybody or whatever, you know what I mean? Not at all. He was basically the main thing holding this thing alive, right? This Muslim grift, this JQ grift, basically, right? the main thing. And look at even that today, right there. He's with Hunter Biden today, doing an interview with Hunter Biden, who was just on with Candace Owens. Like, the grid never ends. It really doesn't end.
They're gonna break bread over, you know, Biden's legacy.
Talking shit about Trump. Like, literally, that's all they're gonna do is just talk shit about Trump for being pro-Israel or whatever. We already know that whole interview. It's so ridiculous. But yeah, this video right here, guys, masterpiece from Jaden here. I don't know if he made it or one of his fans made it. I think one of his fans may have made it. So this is good stuff.
Let's play this. This is the nail in the coffin clip, because this shows the performative nature of what he does. It shows that everything's tactical. It can change on a whim. There's no real beliefs there. Like, what consistent belief has he ever had? I guess the only consistent one has been that he's a Christian Catholic, but you know, that's questionable as well.
Even that's been flippy, kinda, because, like, you know, he doesn't really act like a Christian, right?
Well, he flips in out of Christian nationalist and white nationalist, and he doesn't know which one to pick, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I see the same thing.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear that?
No. Oh wait, it says you can't unmute somebody.
Like
it says it's muted.
Who was made famous by.
Really? Let me stop sharing, and then I'll try to reshare this thing for you. Let's see here. Because I want you to be able to hear it as well. Oh, shit. Okay.
Jubilee videos.
Okay, I can hear it now.
On Twitter wearing a keffiyeh, wearing a Hezbollah headband.
Yeah, this cocksucker right here. Yeah, I know. This guy is such a pile of shit. He's basically a Muslim. He's a leftist. He's a commie. He's a third worldist. He's anti-white. LARPs is like a white nationalist Nazi. It's all bullshit. This guy is a creature of TRS, right? You've seen this guy?
Yeah, he's disgusting. He's one of my biggest ops, Doomer Nat. I'm always talking shit under his replies and stuff, but yeah, he's disgusting. He's one of the most disgusting things to come out of, like, you know, the post-October 7th internet. Basically, it's just, he's really the worst. I don't know how else to put it.
He's a mashup of Jackson Hinkle, Hassan Piker, and like Mike Enoch, right?
Yep, exactly. He's TRS.
He's
revisited. Yeah,
he's utter filth. He's on a tweet under my tweet calling for terrorism against Americans. He's like, America should be destroyed. That's what he said. He's overtly anti-American. He's like Hassan Piker saying Americans deserve 9/11, this kind of shit. That's the level this faggot's on. He's scum. He hates his own country. He's a sleeper agent for who the fuck knows who. Terrorist groups, Russia, China. Freak.
In favor of jihad, talking about how Muslims are the best and Muslims are the only ones fighting. You know, he is a ideological racialist. Like, and I believe that goes too far. I'm a Catholic. I don't know what his religious views are. I think there's a tendency from some white nationalists to idolize race. They believe that race is the highest virtue. As a Catholic, I do believe there's a universal community of human beings. If you want power, we can't be individuals. That's the problem. Muslims are playing a team game where they're being backed by countries that sell oil. The Jews are playing a team game where they're being backed by a nuclear-armed country. Whites are playing an individual's game. It's a big free-for-all. We're all on our own.
We? Who's we?
And then basically right on schedule, it's amazing how this happens. After October 7th, all of a sudden it's like, oh, Islam is taking over America. Oh, Muslim terrorists. I saw today, my old colleague, now enemy, Patrick Casey, he did this video about how Tucker Carlson is smuggling Islam into right-wing conservatism. The glaze that Tucker Carlson gives to Muslims is disgusting. It's utterly disgusting. He says the wisest leader in the world is the Crown Prince of the Emirates. Do not insult Allah. Anyone that submits to God is a friend of mine. They're all doing it, and they're now saying, oh, yeah, it's Islam. And they all sound like Laura Loomer. They all sound like Mark Levin. By the way, that's the real alliance is Jews and Muslims.
So he's glazing Muslims. He was glazing Muslims this whole time. Collabs, the whole gambit. Here, this was one of his accounts. He says, this level of contemptuous anti-brown hatred is a Jewish trait. They're not racist. They hate all goyim. They hate all. This is like some weird, like Jake Shields, Lucas Gage type of goyim unite shit.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me, right? Okay. My bad. My audio messed up earlier. Sorry.
Yeah, it says real white people don't hate anyone. We just don't want a race to die by mass immigration. And we were appalled by sociopathic behavior. I mean, now he's calling the same people brown clowns. So it's like,
I didn't even know that Autumn Groiper was his alt account. That's crazy, though. That's a crazy tweet.
Yeah, but now he's calling them brown clowns. So first he says their contemptuous anti-brown hatred is Jewish. So Jews are the real racists. That's the take. I thought they're the real liberal anti-racist. Which one is it? Right?
And that's the thing. People like when they have these takes about Jews and Israel and stuff, it's always, coded in this leftist language, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. The reason I don't like Israel is not because they're like blood and soil racist nationalists. Like, that's not at least the reason I dislike them. If that's why these people dislike them, then they're probably just like low-key leftists, right? At that point, the reason I dislike Israel is because they're like, there's like this parasitic thing. There's like, there's like the nationalism for thee and not for me type of thing going on. And then also Christianity on top of that and the Abrahamic matrix thing. But really, ultimately, though, these people always critique Israel from a leftist perspective and like a weird third worldist, anti-imperialist type of thing, Hassan Piker level type stuff, right?
Yeah, that's always been there, right? The left is going back to the Soviet Union days was anti-Zionist, right? The Soviets were the first to push anti-Zionism on an international level at the United Nations, and every communist in the world is anti-Zionist. Every Marxist in the world is anti-Zionist because they believe Zionism is a form of racist nationalism, and they oppose all racial nationalism or religious nationalism, except when brown people do it, though, right? They support Palestinian nationalism and Arab nationalism and Syrians.
Turkic nationalism.
And Assad and Gaddafi and Saddam based Ba'athist Arab nationalists, right? So it's just another form of like anti-whiteism, because they make this assumption that like Israel is run by Ashkenazi white Jews from Europe, so they're racist whites, and it all feeds into that left-wing shit, which is not totally accurate because you got black Jews in Israel, you got brown Jews in Israel, and they're all Zionists, regardless of their color. Yep. So he was doing full-on gay-ass third worldism for years. I was calling them the fuck out at that point, right? I don't know if you remember when he was doing this. You can go on my Telegram. I was posting these tweets showing that he's a Muslim simp, showing he's a Russia simp, and now he's flipped it.
The big problem, as we've talked about with immigration, it's coming from Latin America and Asia. That's the illegal immigration. That's illegal immigration. The Muslim immigration is mostly refugees from the wars.
That he was, dude, he was like literally on all fours there for Sneeko. Like that's verbatim what Sneeko says. What he was saying, he's like, you can see Sneeko with Doomer Fat saying that same thing on a stream recently, where he's like, the immigration issue is just Mexicans, so don't worry about Islam, right? Well, look at this fucking crowd of Muslims in the middle of New York, right?
Oh, Akbar! Oh, no! Fuck you! This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan! Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim.
That makes me
we don't
so
need
mad.
to be best good friends on that.
Sorry?
I said that shit makes me so mad seeing that clip of Sneeko. Because I live in California. There's a lot of Hispanic immigrants and stuff, and I'm used to it. But I've never been around like Muslim immigrants like that. You know what I mean? I don't know if you have, being in Spain and stuff, but like when I see those pictures of like the Muslims in New York all out there doing their prayer and stuff, that's like disgusting, bro. Like I don't know how we allow that in America. It's crazy,
Yeah,
insane.
they're the worst. Like the Moroccans, oh god, they're the worst type of immigrants. Honestly, they're so arrogant, especially the Moroccan males. Like they're so they just give off these fucking fake tough guy vibes. They all have stupid curly haircut. They're all wearing the same Nike shoes. They're all loitering around the shopping malls. Like, they're fucking idiots, man. And they're total tribalists. Like, there was an actual incident in southern Spain where these Moroccans beat the shit out of this old guy. He was like 80 years old. They just beat the fuck out of this guy. There was riots, and they attacked some Moroccans down there. And the Moroccans quickly formed little gangs of Moroccans to like do vigilante shit against the Spaniards down there. So they are a fifth column, like the full on Islamists. And the only major terrorist attack in Spain, actually there's two. There's the 2004 train bombing in Madrid done by Muslims, and there was the 2015 or 16 attack in Barcelona done by Moroccan Muslims, of course.
On
Yeah,
that
that's
basis,
crazy.
but we can't have understanding that we're being played and that we both actually have a larger opponent. By the way, that's the real alliance is Jews and Muslims. Just because I don't like Israel doesn't mean I'm a communist.
But Christians and Marxists need to team up.
All these
There it is. I'm not a communist. Christians and Marxists. We need to team up. Stalin's great.
This is where it gets really good. It's just boom, boom, back to back, back to back.
DSA candidates won their election, and each one is more anti-American and radical than the last. And that's not like a GOP talking point. They're talking about abolishing ICE. You know what that means? Amnesty for 12 million illegals brought in under Biden. I'm happy to vote for a Democrat for no reason other than they're going to drop the hammer on the fucking people that did this to us. You can't vote Democrat. Don't cut your nose to spite your face. We're being cut in the face every day. I hate the Republicans now, so I'm voting for the other options. Doesn't mean I'm a communist that wants to abolish the police and the prisons and ICE and legalize weed and abortion. Abortion is not who gives a shit about it? And you know what? The DSA is growing in strength. I will be encouraging all my followers to go out for the Democrats. I am supporting the Democrats at this point out of pure vengeance. The DSA is the enemy, okay? And contrary to what these anti-Israel people say, they say left and right is an artificial divide. On the right and the left, we're also saying something to the effect of, we want to put America first. We don't want to fight Israel's enemies, and we don't want to pay a foreign government.
First, yeah.
We want to pay our own people. We want affordability. Right, left.
Affordability. This guy's like living in some fucking, big house in the Chicago swanky suburbs and getting $7,000 donations from fucking weirdos. Who the hell is sending him all this money, dude?
I don't know. Definitely. I've speculated that he's gotten foreign money from like Russia and stuff. I think he has in the past, but I think there is just a large amount of fucking retarded people, man, that donate to him. It is what it is. And he's milked it, obviously. And really right now, I think there's also been like weird, like OnlyFans girls and stuff donating to him too. And that like goes back to like him and James Fishback and promoting Sophie Rain. And it's like this weird, and also Nick saying he wants to date Sophie Rain. And there's just a bunch of weird shit going on there. I mean, you can speculate, but I don't know who's,
Well, he got like $250,000 donation a few years ago, like 5 years ago, from some rando French guy, apparently. Like, it's incredible. Like, who the fuck has $7,000 lying around to send to this guy? Like we're like living in the highest inflation period. Everybody's being squeezed. Nobody's got spending money, and these fat retards are sending this guy $7K super chat. Like who would even trust putting your fucking card information into some dodgy online thing and sending a guy $7K? Like, it's crazy.
Left and center, the people are suffering.
That is something promoted by the left when they want you to go along with their agenda. I'm recusing myself from that fight. Let the Democrats return to power. The Republican Party remains the only viable vehicle left for people like us.
What? What?
I mean, like you said in the beginning, that shit's the nail in the coffin right there, man.
Oh god, that's it. You can't watch that video and think he's a serious guy. That he's honest, he's trustworthy, he's got principles, and he stands by those principles. All of it's fake. You know, like
yeah. And look there was a time, maybe 2022, 2021, back when I was a Groiper, I guess I'll say, where it did seem like Nick was moving the ball forward. He had the AF pack with like Marjorie Taylor Greene and stuff like that. And it was like he was trying to infiltrate and, change the Republican Party, right? That all went down the hill. Yeah, that all went down the hill like shortly after that when he's, started to jump on the Yay 24 stuff. And then it basically just went downhill from there, right? And then Ollie Alexander, et cetera, the whole 9 yards, right? But yeah.
Oh, it went completely down. Like I've said that too. Like he was obviously better back in the 2018, 2019 period. He was like better optics. He wasn't doing Hitler shit. He wasn't shilling Yay at that point. And then 2020 hits or 2021, COVID comes and he loses his fucking mind. And then all of a sudden, he's a third worldist, and he loves Muslims and death to America, and he's praising Taliban, and he went completely fucking retarded at that point. And then he spent 4 years just milking these gay online e-celebrity relationships to build his clout profile. And that's all that's come out of it. Is he's built his clout profile. But like, what else? Like,
and these Groipers will dead ass look at you, or not look at you because they're all anonymous, but they'll say on Twitter like, "Oh, Nick's gonna be the president. Nick is influencing the right wing. Nick is doing all this." Like, is he though? Like, no, he's behind on everything. Like we just explained earlier with the him basically captive dreamer posting from 2 years ago, right? And it's like everything about him is just totally phony. I don't know how else to put it. Phony, and he sucks.
He's behind the curve so bad on all these issues, whether it's Islam, Russia, and people explain this to him, but he doesn't budge, right? It takes him years and years of squandering people's time and money to come to the conclusion that we all came to like 4 years before him. But then he acts like he's a political genius. He's a political savant, and he saw through the facade of these Muslims. We all saw through the facade of these Muslims, you dipshit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard to figure out. Suleiman Ahmed is a bastard and a Muslim supremacist and a brown supremacist. It was written all over his fucking X channel.
You just got to look at his fucking name. Come on, like literally, Suleiman. Come on, there's enough said. Let's move on. Come on.
He sidelined, basically what he did is he sidelined all the good positions he used to have, like pro-white, pro-west, America first, patriotism, even the Christianity stuff. I'm not that into it, but it's not the worst thing ever. And then he sidelined all that good stuff, and then he emphasized alliance with brown, white-hating Muslims, Russia's our best friend, and it's good that they kill white people in Ukraine. And then he's like retweeting Dugin. Like he just blew it.
Dude, he was literally watching Vladimir Putin streams and saluting Putin on his stream back then, if you remember. Like he was total Vatnik.
Yeah, he had the Z on his thing. It was just pure contrarianism to like piss off Joe Biden or something. Like, okay.
Yeah.
You were canceled. He wasn't around you to
Vince James was doing that too. What do you think about that guy?
Well, I actually talked about this on my stream last night about Vince because somebody asked me. I mean, Vince James, he basically dug his own grave. He really could have probably done his own thing if he would have detached himself from the Groiper sphere. I mean, look at Patrick Casey. He's doing fine now and doing great still because he detached himself from the Groiper sphere early. If Vince would have done the same thing, he probably would still be around. But you know, the Groyper audience is a bunch of like brown teenagers and like zillennials and stuff. Like they're not gonna want to watch a guy like Vince James who's like hardcore breaking down news and politics. You know, they want to see the 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 retards like the other like Beardson and stuff. You know what I mean? So like.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like Vince James dug his own grave and he really could have got himself out of it. I actually thought he was not a bad, I don't think he's a bad guy. I met him before and stuff too, like during Stop the Steal, I believe. And, it is what it is, kind of sad, but he kind of dug his own grave.
Yeah, I mean, he attached, he barnacled himself onto Fuentes. That's what a lot of these guys do. They barnacle themselves onto him, try to like catch some scraps of viewership, some scraps of donos or whatever, but they know for a fact that he's just stringing these guys along as underlings, as servants to the mission of just propping that guy up and pumping his shit out. Beardson, I mean, that guy's the most pathetic, servile dude. Like, his entire online thing is just glazing Nick Fuentes. Like, that's been his thing for like 10 years, is he just glazes Nick Fuentes. That's all. There's nothing else to him.
Yeah, he's literally, he's a sad creature. He really is.
So apparently,
but what is this, Aiden?
Aiden Ross has turned on Sneeko. Let's go.
But when you were depressed from gambling, he wasn't there when you were getting alienated and blackballed. I was there. I opened up a charity and nobody spoke about it. Nobody amplified it. Nobody helped it. For letting Rob.
Sneeko, if you move to Iran or if you move to one of those countries, bro, I swear to God, I'll donate. Please move, bro. Move. Show us how good it is over there. Go move to Afghanistan. You said they're welcoming. Oh, just please, bro. Holy fucking shit. Sneeko, holy fucking shit. No, I'm not weird. No, he wants to change America and make it like Afghanistan and shit. So tell him to go to Afghanistan and show us how it's done. Come on. Fuck. Dude. I don't know what the fuck's been going on lately. I don't want to talk about politics and none of that shit, bro. Like, you guys, we gotta be consistent here, bro, with everything going on in the world. We can't talk about one thing and not talk about everything else. I told you guys this. He needs to talk about how Saudi Arabia, an Islam country, is also funding a genocide. We need to talk about all other things. There's many things going on in the world. There's not only one thing. I don't like how there's only one thing that everyone always talks about. No, there's multiple things going on. Multiple things going on. That's what we need to speak about. And I talk about that. We need to talk about that.
I'd like to have a conversation with Aiden Ross.
He makes a good point, though. I know Aiden Ross is kind of like basically like the retarded normie streamer type, but he does make a good point about we need to talk about multiple things. And yeah, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, they're funding genocides too in Sudan and shit or whatever, like it's not just like black and white, everything Israel, Gaza, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
But
makes a good point.
That's all Sneeko cares about, because he's a racist, right? He's a racial supremacist for brown people. And so, but then he ignores brown deaths when they happen in Sudan or some Muslim country, when the people, he's exactly like BLM, right? When the people killing the Muslims are brown, then he doesn't care. When the people killing the Muslims are Jewish Israelis, then he cares, even though some of those Jewish Israelis are literally like brown Jews and black Jews from Ethiopia. Like a Middle Eastern Mizrahi Jew that's from the Middle East is the exact same genetics as a Palestinian. So like, why is he favoring the Palis over the Mizrahi brown Jews? They're both the same. So it's just Islam,
they're basically cousins. It's crazy, and all down there in the whole Middle East, it's all tribal. You know what I mean? It's all like clannish. It's it's like basically the old world, right? You know what I mean? So if that's what Sneeko wants, he needs to go there. He needs to live there. He needs to get out of America and go experience that for a long time, not just a weekend in Mecca or whatever. You know what I mean? Go live in a brown clown Muslim country for a year, Sneeko. How about you do that? Like,
dude, this is
really.
Yeah, I mean, they're all saying this to him, and dude, he's blown his bridge with literally like everybody. This is crazy. So Andrew Tate, he's blown that. Clavicular, he's kind of teetering because the guy went to Israel. Fuentes thing is over. Now, Aiden Ross thing seems to be over. He says, tell this Jew when he refunds all the kids he got addicted to gambling, I will move to a cave in Islam. Yeah, it's just amazing that this guy, like, preaches this moral code now when he was, like, the gayest, weirdest dude ever.
Yeah.
Doing
He
gay cut
literally
porn.
did gay porn. He had an OnlyFans girlfriend. He does drugs while he was saying he was Muslim. He goes to the clubs. Like this guy, and he'll sit there and go on his stream and be like, all white girls in America, or like 10% of white girls in America are doing OnlyFans, and say bullshit like this. You know what I mean? Totally just anti-white behaviors. Piece of shit. But it just pisses me off thinking about it, honestly.
I'm black, white, Filipino, and Jewish.
Uh-huh.
I'm actually
God.
perfectly. I'm 12.5% Jewish. My dad is a quarter black. My grandfather was half.
Dude,
Jewish.
he's like the ultimate
And,
mutt man. He is mutt man central, let me tell you. Yeah,
He
that's
is the
funny.
Kalergi child.
Dude, he's so freakish, man. And, like, he's such a fame-hungry, clout-hungry douchebag. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. I remember a few years ago, like, the whole YouTube sphere was clowning on him for some of his takes. Like, for his Andrew Tate gimmick, like, copycat gimmick he was doing. They're all clowning on him for that. They're clowning on him for his defense of that pedo movie. So, but he doesn't give a fuck. He basically, if people are talking about him, that's good for him. That's all he cares about.
Yeah, people forget that he defended that Cuties movie. Fucking sick.
So let's go through a couple other slides here, and I'll get your take. So there's this fag, Will Sexton.
What Sexton?
So this guy's a total flamer, LGBT guy. He was a full-on communist, freak show cross-dresser. That's a fact. I mean, that's not made up. I can pull up on my Telegram here. I'll just pull up the picture just to prove to people. How did this guy worm his way into Groyper politics? I mean, doesn't that say something about Groyper politics that this flamer is worming his way into it?
Yeah,
He was posting some of the most ridiculous trans gay shit ever.
Yeah, I mean, it just tells you with a little bit of money buying some Pakistani bots and, you know, a good camera, I guess, and doing some shorts, then you can get into the Groyper movement, man. That's really what it is. Yes. Because really nothing that he says is like new. Like he's just rehashing the JQ stuff, but doing it with a nice camera or whatever, you know what I mean? And then buying some bots. Because if you go on Twitter, he doesn't get any engagement on Twitter. Like it doesn't translate at all. All of his engagements on Instagram and YouTube, which are two of the easiest platforms to bot, by the way. You know, if you look into that stuff. But anyways.
Yeah, he's got like this. He's probably paying some cheap Indian editors to make his content look good. He's got like some studio. He probably, got his mommy or daddy to put up $10K to build that studio. Like he's a manufactured media, like alt media creation. He got in with that other fucking loser. What's his name? Elijah Schaefer, who's clearly gay. I mean, the guy sounds like a freak. He's a total weirdo. And
yeah,
now,
his dad is literally a influencer too. Will's dad is an attorney, a criminal or a divorce attorney or something. He has a YouTube channel, like a few 100,000 subs and stuff. Yeah, he's literally an industry plant, basically.
yeah, his dad is clearly wealthy and just propped his ass up. I mean, like, I've never had that kind of backing. Like, everything that I own and all my cameras, all my equipment, it's all mine. I've bought it. Nobody's like, I don't got some fucking fancy ass backer who's willing to. Like, the thing with Fuentes is like, he had a head start on most other content creators because he was living with his parents, didn't have to pay rent, was just streaming from his basement, could just cash all the donos, save it up, buy better equipment, and then he gets some fat ass donation of $250,000. Once you get that, you're off to the races, right? You can improve your content dramatically with that kind of dono. So with this guy just out of nowhere, and yeah, like you said, he's got he's got this Israel obsession thing. This like, but it's all left wing brown coded too with this guy, right?
Yeah. Supposedly he has a brown girlfriend too, Pakistani girlfriend or something. It's all it seems like he's doing it for like Arab pussy or something. I don't know.
Yeah, because this whole thing is like every post is just Jews are racist supremacists who beat down on brown people, and we need to support them. And then he said something like, I think I have the tweet here, where he says he would be content with his neighborhood becoming like Mexico so long as they were anti-Israel or something. Oh yeah, that's there.
One issue voter.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro. I said it before. Turn my neighborhood into fucking Guadalajara, bro. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck, bro.
Oh, this is performative fucking bullshit with the
we are going
with the
to
buttons. He's got the
okay?
explosion
Fuck it.
sounds.
I don't care. I don't give a fuck. As so long as the Israel establishment, as the fucking foreign establishment burns, we live in I'll fucking make my neighborhood into Santo Domingo. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I don't care.
Insane.
Fucking Viva La Raza, okay? We're like,
Absolutely insane.
Yeah, well, of course you don't, because then you got some more brown butt to play with, you freak show. This guy is so cringe. Like, his whole gimmick is over the top. It's fake. His personality's fake. He's a flaming cross-dressing homosexual LARPing as this trad Christian, racist Nazi now. Like, it is like the epitome of astroturfed. And
yeah, he's really the worst of the worst, man. And like you said, like we said earlier, man, he's an industry plant, and basically everything about him is propped up by Pakistani bots. And that was enough for Nick Fuentes at the end of the day. That was enough. That's all the past, all this stuff that we'll look at right now, this horrible, disgusting stuff. Doesn't matter because he bought a few Pakistani bots and made a viral Instagram clip. You know what I mean? That's enough for Nick Fuentes. So that should show you, right?
Well, didn't they get rid of him at some point and then kicked him out?
Yeah, I think Beardson and him had some sort of rift, but it was revealed. I made a tweet probably a few months ago. I can't find it right now, but it was revealed he was in DMs with Nick, and he still is probably in DMs with Nick. So who knows what they're talking about, really? Maybe Nick is directing all of William's content for all we know, right?
Well, it seems
really
like
don't.
it seems like it because he started attacking all the people that Fuentes hates, like Casey, Doyle, all those types, like Captive Dreamer as well, like all the people that Fuentes feuds with. This guy just started randomly attacking them in videos, even though he's a new fag, literally a fag and a new fag, and he doesn't know these people. He doesn't know anything about these people, but he's randomly just doing this. You don't criticize the Jews enough take, right? It's that's what you got on these people, really? And it's like all of those people have criticized Jews. They're not like hardcore Zion. Like none of them are. None of them are hardcore Zionists. So this is just autistic spurging shit, right?
Yeah. And it does make it seem like Nick does have a hand in it because, yeah, why is he attacking John Doyle, Captive Dreamer, like randomly when, yeah, Brillium, you are a new fag. Nobody knows who you are. You came from nowhere. You don't have a pedigree. You don't have any history. You shouldn't even really know the history. And if you do know the history, you should speak about it in a way where you're like, yeah, I researched this stuff. Like he speaks about it in a way like he was there almost. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
Bro, I hate y'all. Okay. I'm gonna try to edit this as minimal as possible to get this out as fast as possible. So someone found my old Twitter. So basically
Sounds so gay.
He's like, this guy, this flamer vibes are through the roof. The gaydar is going off here, man. Look at the hand gestures, the voice tone. Someone found my old Twitter,
a bunch of Jewish individuals.
So he's just leaning into. So he gets to be a gay flamer because so-called Jewish individual. Well, I guess those Jewish individuals are more based than you, big guy. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Fucking crazy.
they always fall
I'm
back
siding-
on that.
I'm siding with the based, right-wing Jew over William any day. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I'll
be
side with
honest.
this guy, muscular Jew, over
Max-
him.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy's not the worst guy in the world, right?
I mean, he's a Zionist, but at the end of the day, like, I try to explain this to people too. Like, at least with like Zionist, you kind of like know what you're getting. It's like you see what you get, And then with these other subversives, they try to like bring themselves in and like really change the script, but also make it like that it's pro-white to be like a third worldist, like how all these people are, right? Which I think that's more subversive than like the outright like Zionism, in my opinion. And like being, wanting to, extract wealth from America for Israel, because like everybody, you can see that it's plain and simple, and you don't need to really beat around the bush. It's bad. Like these people, these other subversives, they really are trying it. It's a hybrid warfare type of thing. And that's why I think a lot of this comes from Russia, comes from, this KGB, budget that they've increased by like 50 or 60% in the last 2 years, so it's all connected really, I think, but I don't want to be too much of a conspiracy theorist.
This is the same guy, Sexton. He wrote, "White women need to be bred out of the gene pool. Eugenics is not okay unless it's about anti-white women theory." So he flipped from a full-on anti-white Marxist, a genocidal Marxist who wants whites to be bred out of the gene pool, and then all of a sudden he flips to the polar opposite of that, and he's like posting Hitler edits, doing this Nazi LARPing, and now he's a JQer. It's completely manufactured. Like, it cannot be genuine, that kind of flip.
Yeah. And honestly, I remember like callback from like your old streams. I remember that you used to talk about this kind of, but when you came from like the anti-war crowd and stuff like that, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And that crowd had the same type of flip, right? Where they went third worldist and stuff like that. And the Israel stuff became like, a poison pill and stuff. And really, like, this stuff just keeps rehashing, from the TRS stuff, that the anti-war crowd to now this new JQ momentum post October 7th. It's bigger than ever now, arguably, but it keeps rehashing this same third worldist agenda, tying in with the JQ, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed, like, back when I was in that anti-war scene, I noticed that they were basically only concerned. First of all, they're hypocrites because they supported all the Russian interventions and not Western interventions. Like, these George Galloway assholes are like, yeah, it's great that Russia's intervened in Syria, but I'm against that Western involvement. So I recognized that they were Russo shills, and that pissed me off, and I started to go against them. And then I realized there was a big Muslim element to that anti-war scene, and they were trying to just hijack every conversation into like pro-Palestine, pro-Iran, pushing the Muslim side. And I just realized these are two sides of the same coin. These people just want to use us as useful idiots for their agenda, but they couldn't give a fuck about the West, and they were supporting Islam in the West. So I just sniffed them out eventually, and that's why I turned on them.
Yep. Fuentes with Hunter Biden, though. Did this come out yet, or is this still?
No.
It's just. Yeah. I mean, honestly, we know exactly what's going to come from this. It's Nick and Hunter are going to talk shit about Trump because of Gaza or whatever. You know what I mean? And it's going to be really gay. But, I mean, this is just. I mean, we could have all saw this coming, to be honest with you. With Candace and Hunter, or with Hunter going on Candace, I mean, it only makes sense that this would be coming next, right?
So what's your takes on this this Candace. I mean, there's this huge feud going on between the Candace kooks and the TPUSA and some of these people like Wilson and who are fighting back on their theories. Have you watched this trial? Like, is the evidence now like overwhelming?
Oh yeah, I mean, basically, Candace and the whole, kooky conspiracy crowd, they got blown out like the first day of the preliminary hearing. You know what I mean? Like, all of their conspiracies from, Tyler Robinson was never on campus to they never interviewed Lance Twiggs to the gun, or just a million. There's so many now, it's hard to name them all, but every single one has been disproven. But they're doubling down. I think Candace is going to go live today, probably pretty soon, and she's going to go on her show and just double down, right? And these people are ready for it. It's honestly really troubling what's going on right now with the Candace conspiracy stuff. It's crazier than QAnon ever was, and I really don't know how we deprogram these people. If you see what these people are doing, they just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, and they're not able to get themselves out. I don't know what we do, man. I really don't know. What's your take on it, though?
Yeah, I haven't followed all the shit because it's so time consuming to like look at all the takes, and like I totally reject the conspiratards and them claiming it's not Tyler Robinson. I mean, there's no other security footage showing anyone else running off that roof. Anyone that looks drastically different to him. So what's the proof? There's none. And then what's the motive? There's none. Like, why would anyone else kill him? Like, who killed him? The government killed him? The government run by Donald Trump? And Charlie Kirk's the biggest supporter of Donald Trump? Why the fuck would he kill that guy? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Why would the FBI cover it up? All these instruments are in the hands of Donald Trump. He controls the FBI. He controls the authorities. So why would he take out Kirk? And then the Israel theories are even dumber because Charlie Kirk did not turn on Israel. I saw Tucker was pushing that shit. He's like, I think he was killed because of his evolving views on Israel. But then he was asked about this and he flipped and he's like, I didn't say that. Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. Tucker always does that.
Well, why do you think Tucker's leaning into this Israel stuff? Like, 'cause he never used to do that. It's purely, it's contrarianism. I think it's a type of pathological contrarianism. He's pissed off at like the Fox News establishment, the Washington establishment, and so to get back at them, he's just entertaining any kook freak on the internet and bringing them on his show to spew whatever's contrarian to the establishment.
Yeah, I think it has to do with Buckley too, to be honest. I think Buckley is like this vampire that Tucker sends out and does like his foreign bidding and stuff, and then I really don't know. I think it's really sad, to be honest, because I actually liked Tucker when he was on Fox News. I used to watch Tucker every day, and he really just did this whole 180 after October 7th, right? And yeah, maybe it does have to do with what you said, like he's rebelling against the Fox News and American establishment, however you want to put it. But he's a traitor at this point, honestly. I don't know what else. And same with Alex Jones. Same with basically anybody that's platforming these Russia shills getting reposted by RT. They're traitors at this point. And I don't know how they can really walk back from that, being a traitor to your country, right?
Tucker got in early on that Russia show. He was doing that on Fox News, actually, with Douglas McGregor, that fuckhead. And it was purely contrarian to the Biden administration, right? They support Ukraine, so we have to poke holes in Ukraine and prove they're not a real ally and prove they're losing the war, so we shouldn't support. That's what he was doing. Like he's fully like he is like Lauren Southern tier contrarian. Like he doesn't even have legitimate views. He's just whatever's the
Yeah.
opposite of the Democrats, whatever's the opposite of the establishment. But now he's like being contrarian to the Trump people. So now he's starting to lean into some left wing shit. And you see him doing the Israel obsession. You see him doing, Muslims are not bad. And he was talking to somebody talking about how he would get along better with a Pakistani cab driver than some white liberal or something. Like bizarro takes. He's all over the map. He's spouting liberal shit, and then on the other hand, he's talking about white replacement. He's just dipping into every pie right now, this idiot.
Yeah. And also the amount of like foreign people surrounding him too, like that he brings on his shows now and stuff. Like if we go back maybe like 2-3 years, like Tucker was not having on like these radical leftist Muslims and stuff. I forget his name. He had him on recently, and he's like, Tucker is literally going to the extreme now. So like, yeah, I don't know what flipped on him. If it was, the money's right or what it is. I don't know what it is, but really at this point, Tucker's a traitor to America. All of these people are traitors, and yeah, it's honestly just crazy how nobody. People still seem to be defending Tucker. You know what I mean? On the right, at least not as much, but it's still there. There are still, like TPUSA, for example, was defending Tucker up until maybe a month or two ago, right? So,
dude,
I don't know,
Charlie
man.
Kirk, like, he was so in love with Tucker. I don't know why, because like at that point, I think he should have broke off with Tucker. He broke with Candace, so I don't see why he wouldn't have broke with Tucker. Now Candace is trying to milk her relationship with. She just posted another picture of herself with Charlie Kirk. Dude, she is so shameless. Like, she is just.
I know.
Like she's just playing mind games with people. Everything, all the pushback she gets just motivates her more to keep leaning into this dumb shit.
Yeah, she's going max, right? Jeez. It's honestly disgusting. And she's going to basically go on. I think what she's going to do on her show today is she's going to go on her show and basically, talk shit about that Laura Loomer and others were pushing for Russia to be investigated because of Lindsey Graham's death. And she's going to, use it as some own, basically. And then, pushing Russian propaganda the whole time and how she is like the real thing, going for the real truth and stuff. I think that's going to be her angle today. I might be wrong, but I wonder what she's going to do with that. Because there is a lot of people calling for like Russia to be investigated right now, to be honest, over this Lindsey Graham stuff. I personally think from everything, at first I was saying like, yeah, we need to investigate Russia. I still think we should, just for like propaganda reasons, but really, it looks like he just died from like, a sudden heart attack. If you talk to anybody who has family members that have had heart attacks, really fucking random. They just are fine one day and then the next day they're dead. So it makes sense. But also that is how these foreign governments like Russia do assassinate people. They make it look like a natural death, right? So I think we'll never really know, to be honest with you.
Well, apparently there was some British politician recently killed, and they're trying to link that to Russia. Have you heard about that?
I did hear about that. Yeah, that one seems to be like it might actually be Russia. And yeah, but I mean, I hope it's not. I hope it is Russia. I mean, so we can like, I don't know, send the Tomahawks to Ukraine or something. But if I'm being honest, I don't think Russia has the balls to assassinate a sitting U.S. senator. Like, I don't think Putin has the balls to do that, to be honest with you. But maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, he's getting crazy. He's talking about invading NATO countries now. Like, there was that just came out. He's really pushing it, man. He's spurging so hard, dude. Putin, have you seen how spurgy he is lately? Like, he's like going on these clips. He's like, these scum are, the Ukrainian regime are Nazi scum. and he's like denying that Molotov-Ribbentrop was a thing. When he loses, he goes berserk, man. He's a freak.
Do you think we'll
22,000.
see? Oh, go ahead.
She's got 23,000 live viewers, and like
Ooh,
this.
Candace?
Yeah, doesn't this show you how we're living in mediocrity, where this lackluster intellect, she can't even pronounce English words properly. She's a dumbass, right? Total dumbass. She's spewing incoherent theories, and you have 24,000 people just dying to tune in to the next take, the next fucking dollop of bullshit.
Yeah. And if you look at a lot of the profile pictures in her chat, it's all retarded women. Always. It's all just a bunch of wine moms and stuff, dude.
Oh, God. Dude, Candace is a full-on narcissist. It's insane. Like, she was actually way better when she was in that Daily Wire TPUSA sphere. Like, she had better takes. She wasn't doing conspiratard shit. She was just doing anti-BLM stuff, anti-communism. It was good. It was, like, not bad shit.
Yeah, I agree. The Jews had her on a leash, and it was good.
And then she gets into this Kanye West schizo shit. She's gone completely off the rails and just kookified even the Jewish criticism stuff. I mean, there's like a way to do it and a way not to do it, and she's doing the way you shouldn't do it. Kookifying it, memifying it. Now Bilzerian's jumped on that. He's kookified that shit. Turned it into obsession. Just the red pill rage phase of obsession. And then they just jump on every dumb theory imaginable. You know, Bilzerian's going off saying the Soviet government was 99% Jewish. It's like you could debunk these things in like 2 seconds of research, right?
I know. I hate when they try to Jew jacket the Soviets and stuff. Like, no, dude. The Soviets were mainly Russian, and even the Bolsheviks were mainly Russian too, dude. They always try to say the Jewish Bolshevik leadership and stuff like that. You know, like, no, okay, yeah, there were some Jews that were the leaders of the Bolsheviks or whatever, but the vast majority of Bolsheviks were Russians. You know what I mean? Like, so
Yeah.
like it's totally ridiculous.
Yeah, they were never the leader. Lenin wasn't, Stalin wasn't, and then after that, Gorbachev, Brezhnev, there was zero Jewish like premiers of the Soviet Union. The most they had was like 6 out of 21 at the Politburo at one point, and then like 2 out of 4, because the committees were tiny. They're like 4 people. The most was like 20 people. So if you're like half of 20, you're 10 people. It's a big overrepresentation compared to their population, but it's only 10 people, right? So, like, and then, of course, after the purges, there wasn't that many at all. There was literally like 2 or 3. And then the Soviets become an anti-Zionist power supporting the Arabs. How do you square that with the whole thing's a Jewish op, right? They can never contend with that. Actually, I was debating that dipshit Ian Malcolm about that. You know that guy?
Yeah, that guy sucks so bad.
He's an absolute moron, like a midwit. And I was just like he's one of those idiots who assumes if you don't buy this thing that like every issue in the world comes down to Jews and only Jews, that you love them, you support them, and you would never criticize them. That's clearly not the case with me. I criticize them when it's justified. And then he was just like assuming all these positions. I was debating him on the commie thing. I was like, Stalin purged him. They became anti-Zionist. He couldn't contend with any of these points. I was like, Zionism and communism are literally like opposites. One is nationalist, one is international communism. The communists hate Zionism. And then he just booted me out of the space.
Yeah. I mean, people really, when they only see Israel everywhere, it's really hard to tell them that, hey, look, there's other countries doing stuff too, man. You know, and you really have to, like, I don't know, deprogram and I don't like saying these words like deprogram, de-radicalize, whatever, but like, yeah, you kind of have to like expand your mind a little bit and see the world a little bit bigger or whatever, you know. And yeah, not everything, there's not a Jew behind every curtain, you know what I mean, running the show, you know. So these people are just products of like I said, the post October 7th internet, Doomernet, all these people. They're just a product of this, and I don't know when it's gonna die out. I think we're on maybe it's waning, maybe, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be at the end yet. I don't know. People are starting to call it out more, though. I will say.
As long as the money keeps coming in and the engagement is there, they're going to keep pushing it because they're all fucking parasites and grifters. This Ian Malcolm dipshit is on board with the Candace Owens, Tyler Robinson theories, and he says it all looks so sketchy and it's just backed by an AstroTurf campaign to push the Tyler Robinson narrative. Obscure Jewish supremacy, romanticize Epstein, and all sorts of other garbage. Oh, he got blocked by Fuentes. So yeah, they're feuding with him over the Tyler Robinson shit. They're trying to push like the Jews in Israel did it, and if you say they didn't, you're a Zionist. There it is.
Yeah.
Oh god, dude.
I will say we were talking shit about Fuentes, but I will give Fuentes some credit. He has been good on the Charlie Kirk stuff, and been calling out the kookiness. So I'll give him credit on that, I guess.
I mean, we can give him credit, but like he doesn't give anyone credit for anything. So
that's true.
Like,
that's true.
He'll never compliment anyone for putting him on to an idea. He'll never give credit to people who were telling him not to be a Muslim shill, not to jump in bed. Like he'll never, like it's always about him. So he'll take up the new position despite being wrong about it before, and then he'll just blast out the new position, ignore the fact that he flipped, ignore the criticism, and just act like he's this political savant genius who came up with this on his own. And he deserves your donations, your praise. Oh, he's so smart, man. So
yeah, it's just totally flip-floppery, I agree. But regardless, I don't know when this like JQ stuff will start to fizzle out. I will say though, like I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but the Russia question though, and like the rise of Russia skepticism though, which I think is rising right now, is going to possibly be something that can kind of maybe balance the JQ stuff, maybe, right? Like people can maybe see like, hey, there's all this Russian influence going on in America. Let's call that out too, and we can call out, you know, the Israeli influence. That's what I'm hoping, at least. But everybody just wants to call the Jews out, and nobody wants to call out Russia. So,
yeah, I just call out everyone. I call out the Muslims. I call out the Russian shills. I call out even the Zionists for bullshit they're pushing and self-centeredness, and they're trying to suck us into their conflict. I call them all out because none of them are on Team West. None of them are on Team White, Team West, Team Europe. They're all on their own tribal teams, and all of them are problematic and a threat, just in different ways. I mean, the thing in Europe, the thing that got me out of that whole like JQ obsession trap was living in Europe. I mean, in Europe, they don't even exist here, man. Like you look in Spain, all the politicians are Spanish. They're all leftists. They support Palestine. None of them are Jewish. And they are doing open borders. They're doing radical feminism. They're doing gay LGBT shit everywhere. It's all native white Europeans doing all that shit. And so I'm like, dude, the only thing you can say on that, like the Israel lobby is one thing. That doesn't really exist in Europe. And then the other thing is all the liberal topics, the liberal issues, LGBT, trans feminism, all that stuff. But all you can say on those topics is that they were overrepresented, right? You can't say that they're all of it. You can't say they're all the activists, all the thinkers, all the theorists. They're not. So
yeah,
they're just giving a pass. As like, and even the ones that are in it, I'll say pretty much on all the other topics other than immigration, where they have like this Jewish religious motive or political motive. The LGBT shit, they're just gay. I mean, you look at those like Hirschfeld people, they're homosexuals. So that's why they're pushing that. Like, am I gonna look at some like British homosexual and be like, him being British is like that important to him being an LGBT activist? No, it's the fact that he's homosexual. It's so obvious.
Yeah, and they'll say that shit, like they'll be like the Jews are making everybody gay, but then like not mention Ben Shapiro at all. Like Ben Shapiro's making people gay. Really? Come on, you know what I mean? Like he's an Orthodox Jew that preaches the Torah. You know what I mean? Like
Well, Jews are becoming gay in Israel. They have gay pride. So like that's one of the things that refutes the whole meme shit is that if they want the non-Jews to become gay, because that seems to be their angles, they want all the non-Jews to become gay. Well, why are they gay in Israel? Why are they doing Tel Aviv gay pride? Why do they have trans surgeries in Israel? Why are there Jews that are gay? And then you look at all like the Jewish LGBT activists, they're all homosexuals, they're all transsexuals. That Pritzker guy that pushing trans, he's a transsexual.
Yeah.
Like that's why he's a trans activist. Like whether there's some like Jewish motivation on top of that, maybe there is, but like what's the main motivation? Because he's a tranny. That's why. Same with Hirschfeld. He was gay. He had like a Chinese boyfriend. The guy wasn't like trying to like do Zionism or something. Like he was just a gay liberal Jew. Like so I think we need to separate. We need if you want to make that relevant, then prove that's the motivation. But if you can't prove that's the motivation, then it's kind of irrelevant. You know, the motivation for LGBT activists is they're gay. For trans is they're trans. For immigration, I think there can be some proof of that because they say it. They're like, you know, we have to make it safe for Jews and this kind of thing. So if there's proof, use it. If there's not, why make that a point? It's bad evidence.
And I mean, at the end of the day, and I know you're green pilled or whatever too on stuff, but like at the end of the day, all these people are Christians. You know what I mean? And they are pushing the JQ stuff. And it's completely like opposite to their religion of worshiping a Jewish Messiah. You know what I mean? So like there's that angle too. Like I really don't think you can even attack the JQ stuff without attacking the Christian question, right? A lot of people aren't there yet, you know, and I understand that. I understand why, but really like it's going to go nowhere if you're not going to attack like the whole shebang, right? The whole thing, you know, if you're just going to sit here and go Jew, but not talk about, you know, the extension of Judaism, which is Christianity too, and Islam, which is an extension of Judaism too, then you really can't address the full issue of, you know, Judaism, right? You know, and the JQ. So at the end of the day, I think these people are washed anyways, and they're never ever going to get to the real root of the issue, which is basically Judaism, the religion, right? You know, Yahweh, right? But that's a whole, we don't need to go down that rabbit hole, but that's a whole, you know, thing there, and they're never going to get there anytime soon. So I think it's better to focus on other stuff like the Russia angle and calling out, you know, the hypocrisies and stuff. But I do personally think that like, yeah, the JQ is never going to get solved unless people can really come to the Christian question. Right. But anyways.
Yeah. Well, I've said to these people that they can't get anything done without those people, without Christians. They're 95%. Back during the Hart-Celler Act, when that was passed, I looked at the LBJ administration. I looked at the Senate Congress, 95% Christians. None of that gets passed without these Christians voting for it, signing it. LBJ was a full-on civil rights guy. JFK was a full-on civil rights guy. And I was actually said that to this other kind of schizo tier guy on Twitter recently. I forget his name. He's like Groypersphere. He's doing the Christian bit. And he's like, he made a clip where he was trying to blame like that entire thing, trans, LGBT, immigration, all of it. He was saying it's just like Jews, right? And then I just quote tweeted him and I said, well, here's all these Christians that supported this. Here's all this, et cetera. And then he's still like denying it. He's like, they're Shabbos Goyim.
Yeah.
Oh, so what you're saying is they're brainless idiots and can't think.
Yeah. No true Christian, right? You know?
So Jews are basically they're Jewish supremacists because they believe that Jews can think and can plot and can conceive of things, but Christians can't. They're dumb. They're like low IQ and they just sign things without looking at it. What? Like JFK was a full-on civil rights advocate. You can look at his speeches. He supported integration. He supported black people. He didn't just sign shit. I don't care if he had a couple underlings. Like, they'll actually blame an underling to JFK, an advisor or a staffer, for what JFK proposed. And they're like, this guy wrote it. He's a staffer, dude. He's literally an underling. they're blaming underlings for what JFK proposes, and then taking all agency away from JFK and putting it on this underling. It's like there's no winning with these people, then. And then my point is they're all liberals, so why don't you condemn all the liberals, not just Jewish liberals, right?
Yeah, I agree. And like, yeah, you make a good point. A lot of this stuff like immigration and, loving thy neighbor and stuff, all of this stuff comes from Christianity. You know what I mean? As much as like these e-crusaders want to say otherwise, and say, oh, the Pope signed something that says we got to have borders or some shit or whatever. Like, no, like at the end of the day, your guys' book is the reason why a lot of these, values happen. And like liberalism in itself is kind of like an extension of like Christian values in some ways, right? When it comes to, loving the neighbor, loving the immigrant, loving the poor, all this stuff, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, this stuff, like people don't want to address this stuff. It is kind of like, you kind of have to do some research to kind of get to this kind of conclusion, but I don't know. I don't know how we actually handle the I don't know how we actually handle the JQ though, because at the end of the day, like we've been talking about all the problems with these JQers and how they go too far and they're retarded and stuff. But there is a problem with Israel too, and Judaism and Jews in general. So like we need to figure out like a medium there and how we can address it. And the only way we will do that is tackling the Christian question. But I don't know when we as a society are going to be able to get there, right? That's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, like these guys, for me, what it looks like is that these Christians, for them, the JQ is just a way to shift the blame or pass the buck, right? It's like, my religion's innocent, my people did nothing, we're victims of this other religion, of this other group who came in and tricked everybody and duped everybody. And then you look into it, and that's just not the case. They couldn't have done that without support. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr. was a Baptist minister himself. Like, black people could be Christians. I'm sorry. Like, all these black, like, what, didn't he start like a Christian organization? It was the Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Like, that would, like, there is a liberal Christianity, just like there's a liberal Judaism, and then there's a conservative Christianity and a conservative Judaism. But my point is that the liberal faction of both were involved, but the conservative faction, really, they're on the other end of a lot of issues. So it's like, it's not 100% one group that's responsible for all this liberal shit. In fact, it's a multitude of different elements. It's multifaceted. But they can't get that nuance, and if you bring that, it's like, I can critique these liberal Jews, and I do, because they're schizo on a lot of issues. But at the same time, I'm holding all the libtards accountable. I don't care what their background is. There's so many Spanish people that are full-on fucking feminazi libtards. Am I going to just ignore that because I'm Spanish and I like Spain and something? Like, no, that's just a tribal in-group bias. It's like, my people are allowed to do liberal shit, but they aren't. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. There needs to be called out on both sides. I agree.
All right, man. Where can people find your stream? Do you still stream?
Yeah, I do stream here and there. You can find me on Kick. I'm on Rumble and I'm on YouTube. But the easiest place to find all my links is n8live.now. It's in my bio on Twitter. All my links are there. And man, yeah, this was a great conversation. I hope we can do it again, man. It was honestly awesome.
Yeah,
I thought this was great.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I was trying to get a few other people like Jake on as well, and we can kind of do 3 or 4 way people commenting on some of this stuff. Candace has 62,000 people watching her stream. It's not even started yet.
Man. Yeah, she's gonna probably go maybe 100, 150, maybe it'll get to.
That's insane, dude. Is that not botted? Like, who the fuck can get to that level?
Yeah, it is honestly sad. I don't know. It's sad that humanity is this retarded, but it is what it is.
Like,
hopefully we can.
Like just the last point. like streaming, people be like, whenever you critique one of these streamers like Fuentes and stuff, the fans come in and be like, well, he's talented, so you're just jealous, man. And it's like, no, I'm critiquing him on his ideas, like his bad ideas or his bad takes. And it's always come back to this worship of the material, the vein. It's like, oh, jealousy,
Viewer
man.
count.
Yeah, viewer counts, dick measuring. It's dude. There's always going to be somebody with a bigger viewer count than you and a bigger follower count than you. I mean, there's plenty of people with bigger follower counts than Fuentard. So it's such bullshit. And at the end of the day, the streaming world, it plays to slop. So you and me giving more nuanced intellectual takes on issues is not going to have the same appeal of Candace, kooky Candace with her conspiraslop, or Ian Carroll with his conspiraslop. That's going to appeal to the lowest common denominator dipshits, and they want to watch that. They don't want to hear, nuance. They hate nuance.
Yeah, they just want to hear the stuff that makes the neurons, go on in their brain, right? They don't want to. They don't want to open new paths, right? They're retarded, basically.
Yeah, I mean that's why I don't recommend anybody try to make a living streaming. I'm sorry, but like it's literally like trying to go to fucking Hollywood and make it as an actor. You have like a 1% chance of breaking into that, with like the thousands. Imagine trying to go to some casting call for a big movie. There's like 10,000 people lined up to do an audition. It's like your chances of making it through that line are zero. So it's the same with streaming. It's like it plays to slop, and you have to have money like to back you up to do all the editing and shit for you. You have to have like a big base of cash to pay the bots now and the clipper accounts, right? Like Fuentard has a bunch of clipper accounts. He's paying these Indians to clip his shit and pump it out.
Yeah, the craziest thing with that, I think Fuentes actually just has like slave clippers, and he doesn't even pay clippers, to be honest with you. Like all those clippers, like Kaiser Rev, Asuka, like all those clippers on Twitter, those are just regular guys that like love Nick, basically. So honestly, Nick's kind of lucky when it comes to that. Most people, they do have to buy the clippers and stuff. I think Nick is still buying the bots and stuff, but Nick has the clippers for free. He has the cult backing for that, I guess.
Yeah, that's pathetic that these dudes are doing free labor for the guy, because he doesn't like them, he doesn't respect them, he thinks they're like slaves, like he views them as slaves. And you've seen that with the previous employees he had that were like not getting paid hardly anything, and he treated them like dirt, and all that stuff came out with Jaden and shit. Like the guy is like Patrick Bateman to your narcissist. Like it's all about just sapping up the energy. Me. He's like Andrew Tate, right? That's why he likes Andrew Tate. It's me. Give me the attention on me. I mean,
yep.
That's terrible. That's terrible. Like if you're gonna run a real movement like that, it's gonna be a team effort. It's not gonna be about one guy. Politics is not just one guy. But I guess that's why he likes dictators like Stalin and Hitler, right? Because it's one fucking guy with all the glory. But that's not a good leader.
Yeah, I guess before we end, I did want to have, what's your take on the recent Patriot Front stuff and like their rally in DC and all that, and basically the conservatives still coming out like for the last 10 years saying they're feds. Like I personally don't think they're feds, but I don't like Patriot Front that much personally. But I don't think they're feds, I guess. That's my take with that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why they would be feds. Like, what's the point of that? If they are feds, like, what's the goal? I don't get what the feds would be doing with that shit. Now, there's probably some infiltrators who are feds, but that's not the same thing as the whole organization being feds. I mean, all these white nationalist groups are infiltrated by feds, right? Because they're trying to spy on them or dismantle them or something like that. I mean, it is what it is. I've made my opinions on these active clubs. I guess that's what that is, an active club. I don't really see active clubs as a political vehicle, because basically these guys are on a hamster wheel just doing like performative marches that don't really accomplish anything politically. It's good for like the ego of the guy doing the speech or whatever. You get some clicks online and praise, but just marching around with masks, like they've been doing that for 5 years. I just don't know where that goes politically. There are probably some good guys. There's probably some Wignat shit in there too, some schizo Hitler shit, but there's probably a good chunk of them are decent guys. But I just don't think that's politically effective. Like what's the purpose of marching with masks on? Like I think they'd be better served trying to get into the institution somehow, like getting into their local politics, getting into the local Republican Party. That would be more productive than just like being this group outside of all that that does some performative marching. There's a group like that here in Spain, dude. They just, it's all performative. It's just, we go on a bridge, do a banner drop, take pictures of it, put it online, and that's it. You know, it's like, okay, some people saw your sign. Okay, it's a cool message. Okay, but there's no political change. The leftists still have power. Like, I think it's a bit of a hamster wheel. I never got involved in an active club for that reason because I just didn't know where it was going to go. And it seems very much like Proud Boys. Like it's just a kind of a cool kids club that they hang out and shit. But it's not a political party at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, I agree for the most part there. The main thing I have an issue with is just the Republicans and conservative, like the establishment, harping on that they're feds for like the 1,000th time. Like that stuff is just annoying to me. That's really where I'm like, okay, we need to like stop saying the same thing for 10 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know why they say that. What's that Fox News chick was saying that? I forget her name.
A lot of them, yeah. I think Laura Ingraham. I love the whole like Fox establishment crowd. Yeah, that whole side of MAGA, even Benny Johnson, those types. Yeah.
Look, I think there's never going to be a third party in the U.S. that can win. It's never. I mean, Pat Buchanan tried to do that. He was probably the closest guy to do that. He failed. So it's just going to be like Trump, a hostile takeover of the Republican Party and working within the Republican Party to get things done. And you can be more based than like some of these weak rhinos and shit, but still be in the Republican Party. You just have to have good optics. You got to be tactful. You got to make friends. You know, that Kai Schwimmer guy, I mean, he seems to be doing a little bit of that. He's kind of he was Groyper tier, but he's moved away from that, and so he's actually making some plays there. I think that's better than doing a masked march or doing Fight Club propaganda neo-Nazis that are like doing Sikh Heils and gyms and stuff. Like that stuff has failed. I mean, they've been doing that for 5-10 years. Like that Australian group, I told people that shit was going to be banned and they're just going to get arrested because their leadership is totally unhinged. They're talking about revolution, death, accelerationism, terrorism, and they're all getting arrested.
Those guys might actually be feds. Those Australian guys, but I think there's a difference between that and like Patriot Front. I feel like Patriot Front, they've kind of like carved out a lane for themselves in this, like the retard rally sphere, if you want to call it that. And they are, if we're talking about, you know, if all of these groups are retarded, I would say that Patriot Front is maybe like the least retarded, I guess, because they're, you know, at least they're not like causing, you know, mass violence or whatever like that, or doing like, there's not been like a false flag or anything. I'm not saying that there won't be, because there definitely probably can be with the type of stuff that they're doing. It's just opening the grounds for like a false flag type of thing or something. But out of all of the retard rally groups, from, you know, the HT people to Patriot Front to whatever, I think Patriot Front's a little bit better. But
handsome fag,
also, yeah. Yeah, and I know you don't like Handsome Truth. I actually messaged under one of Handsome Truth's tweets the other day. He was shitting on flock. I don't know how you feel about flock cameras, but I'm pro flock cameras, to be honest. It's kind of a nuanced take.
I don't even know what a flock camera is, honestly. Like, what is that?
It's like the cameras they put on foreigners and stuff that scan license plates and stuff like that. Yeah, but basically, I think that any technology like that really doesn't really just like puts more black people in prison and stuff, you know, or whatever. It doesn't really affect white people that much when it comes to crime because we just don't commit as much crime. And it's better to have these things in white neighborhoods, you know, that are able to track potential, you know, criminals coming in the neighborhood. I think it's good. I don't know. Like they could obviously be completely, they flip the switch. Israel flips the switch and it turns into, you know, total tyranny for white people or something. That's what like these people against flock cameras will say, right? But I'm pro flock camera. It's a nuanced take though. Some people have libertarian priors that may be, you know, not like the surveillance stuff as much.
Yeah, just the last point on that, on those groups. I think that, like, I separated myself from the schizo Nazis. I was kind of into that for a bit, but I just realized that these guys are going nowhere. Like, they're politically going nowhere. They're all nihilistic. They all talk about violence and revolution. They're all being arrested. They're all on watch lists. You can't travel. You can't do anything. I mean, you're fucked. As soon as you're sticking a swastika on your face talking about Hitler's did nothing wrong, and it's just a lie, right? It's based on a lie. Hitler did a lot wrong. He fucked up a lot. Even if he did some good things, he fucked it all up. So these guys are full of shit. They're lying to people about history. They're deceiving them with fake revisionism. And they're leading them down the path of a retarded LARP that will not work politically. Most of them end up in jail. So that's why I turned out against them, called them out, critiqued them. And somebody had to do it because, like, nobody was willing to do it. Like, nobody's willing to just put the foot down and say, "What, your strategy sucks, your optics suck, your ideology's shit too." I mean, these guys are like Nordicists and all this fucking divisive shit. So I'm like one of the only people that put the foot down, called them out, exposed their bad ideology, exposed their bad optics, exposed that shit. And they really fucking hated that, man, because that was cutting into their grift. Right? To have
I remember when you first turned on Hitler, or whatever, however you want to put it. I remember, yeah, it was honestly, you did red pill me. I was into the Hitler stuff and all that, but also I was like, I'm like retarded. I'm Polish. I have no reason to be liking Hitler. So, yeah,
Polish Hitler fan.
Yeah, so like you did red pill me on Hitler, I will say, and like the Hitlerism, Hitler fandom stuff. And honestly, yeah, Hitler was not a good guy. I know, like, oh, the Jews say that, so you can't say that or whatever. But yeah, Hitler wasn't a good guy. Hitler killed a lot of white people. Let's not, muddy that. Hitler killed a lot of white people, and,
for racial sectarian reasons.
Yeah, for like spurgy racial reasons, not even racial, ethnic reasons, like ethnic hierarchy reasons. Yeah, like he in a lot of ways, the people that get into this Hitler LARP, I understand why they do it. I understand why they see like the Hitler edits and they feel like that, whatever, inspired because yes, white people were shit on and yes, like that, and like Hitler is like this ultimate like fuck you to the anti-white thing or whatever, but I don't know, you just gotta grow and expand your mind. It's too simplified.
It's just memeified. You have to extricate all of the actual details of his worldview and his foreign policy to come to the conclusion that he's pro-white and he's a white nationalist. He's literally like the opposite of that. Like, he was not a white nationalist. He was a Germanic imperialist. He was not pan-European. He was pan-Germanic. That's not the same thing. I'm sorry. And then all these idiots, like, and they proved me right on that, right? Because I have those Australian guys on a video saying, yes, we should push out Slavs. We should push out Meds to make room for Anglo-Germanics. Okay, so you're not pro-white, so stop saying you're pro-white. You're lying. You're just trying to grift and get people's money and get those Croats to send you money and get those Ukrainians who don't know history to send you fucking money, but then you'll actually want to kick them out anyway. So, yeah, that needed to be exposed. I'm glad I got out of that cult because it was just so full of insane people. You wouldn't believe the type of nut jobs that were in my Telegram back then. And look, they were all like predicting my demise. Like, you're done, you're finished, man. You're gonna lose your whole audience. It's like, I actually have more viewers, like more followers on X and Instagram than I ever had back then. I mean, that thing is, there's like a peak plateau to that Nazi shit, right? It's like, because there's only so many Nazis in the world that are going to follow you. So it's like, you're going to hit a peak at some point. You can't just get 10 million followers doing that shit, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, back then that was the Omegle. I know you still do Omegle, but like back then, when the Gypsy, Catboy Cammy, and you, well, you guys were like the top 3 Omegle guys back then. Too, you know what I mean? Just you know, I remember. Yeah, it was a different time back then. So yeah.
Yeah, it was 2020 BLM riots, red pill rage pilling shit.
Yeah, it was different.
All right, man.
But yeah, man, this was awesome, man. I really appreciate the conversation. Hopefully we can do it again and do like that roundtable thing you're talking about. I think that'd be sick, man.
For sure, man. I mean, there's a lot of shit to talk about, and I think I like to have other people on to give other takes and other angles to things, and we can bounce ideas off each other. So we'll keep in touch, man. Peace out.
Peace out, man.
All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. Dude, YouTube is gay. YouTube took down 2 of my videos.